to Stainpokes Podcast. I'm Dean, and this is Ray.
Hello, it's Mr. Rey-arejay go the Stainpokes.
How you doing today, Raymond?
No bad, man. I've been fucking dodging a bit like a boss ball.
Oh, so not new then?
Nah, nothing really new. Fucking. In fairness, I was a lazy bastard until about 4 o'clock. Then started getting sorted out to head out.
Sorry, I've been off.
Supposed to be a jam session, which actually led to us sitting about and talking and watching American Dad. Okay. Then me deciding I was coming home early.
Surprise. Sorry, I've been a lazy bastard for the last, nearly 7 odd days or so now, because I've been off work, so I've just lay about in my bed watching straight telly. And I'm not really watching a TV show called Freaks and Geeks, which is really good, but I'm not a review channel, so anyway.
You mentioned that to me before, but I've not got around to watch it yet. I've had 2 or 3 photo request stuff to me before. My cousin Lewis, he messaged me about something the day. It was a stand-up comedian, and apparently when he sees this comedian talking, it reminds him of me a few years ago.
Fuck.
He says to get a watch, and me and Laura, they reckon me and Laura would both enjoy it, so we shall be watching that at some point, woman face.
Oh, fucking woman face.
Woman
Point
face.
out we're on here. The point that she sat about 10 feet that way. When I said that, it was oh! She didn't realise the red light was on.
Oh no. So, in this episode, we're going to discuss a lot of drinking stories. So, because we recently posted up a clips video for the last episode that was talking about my 18th birthday, where I was drinking, but you weren't. So, I thought, why don't we talk about time? Basically, just about every time this time, both of us are drinking, just about. These are the ones that kind of stand out to me. These are the ones we talk about on at least a couple of months basis. We talk about at least one of these once a month, just because they are quite an iconic and they stand out in a friendship sort of thing.
Oh, there's always like daft wee reminders that bring these stories back. Like pretty much any time I lift the kilt out the cupboard, I remember one of them. So I do.
We'll get that one at some point. That's a wee teaser.
But when it comes to getting the way in a bath as well, it reminds me of another one.
Well, mine's is when I walk into my living room, I see a collection. Like, as you can tell, I'm a big collector of things, but I've got a collection in my living room that reminds me of the very first story. So we'll just dive into it. The very first story is the rubber duck story we caught. So that's one was when I was.
Mate, is it totally sad that I'm laughing at my own joke? I'm laughing at my own story already.
I mean, we know the punchline before the outcut, before we even talk about it. It's like only fools and horses.
You were 17. It was about a week after I turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Emma Hodge I went to school with. It was her 18th birthday, like the following week. Right. And they were having a massive party. Remember when we were allowed to have them?
Aye, I know.
On the ground all the time.
In the glim, yeah. Right. You're going to catch worse than COVID in there.
Mate, that's what I'm saying nothing, man. I've got family to stay in Logan, and you can't carry.
My missus is for Logan.
Alice is not as scary as Kerry is.
Oh,
but anyway, you had came and get me after, was it college? Because I was at college by the time I was 18.
No. It was a Friday night. So what did I do every Friday night?
No, mate, you had his kids on the Friday night.
I had kids. You met me. You got off the bus.
I was starting earlier on in the fucking day.
You went home. You were in the house getting a fish and chips for your mum. I had made fish and chips for your mum, which is an important piece of
It's an
information.
important piece of information because I reckon it's probably the first time she will have heard as many details of this story if she does choose to listen to them.
And you met me outside his kids, and you went to the shop because the shop shut at 8 o'clock, and his kids, after the time I finished, it was the same time. So you jumped into the shop, you bought me
Aye.
this. I would say this before I was turning 18. So at this point, I was still drinking Bucky. So you bought me a full bottle of Bucky, and you bought yourself a half bottle of Bucky.
Right.
And then we decided, let's head on off up the back roads to Logan. We get to the
2.5 mile walk.
But it was quicker. It was quicker for me. I thought it was quicker than going all the way down the Toon and then up into Logan. And we wanted to drink with a plan. Plus, I'm 17, so I'm thinking I'm not going to get served in the dark and Logan anyway. So I need to get as drunk as possible. That's why I had a full bottle and you had a half bottle. So we get to the top of the back roads, probably just the train tracks, I'm guessing. Crack open the bottle.
Aye.
We crack open the bottle, take a couple of swigs. Next thing you can, Raymond turns round and Whitey's. His fish and chips goes everywhere. I flag him because, that's what we do at that age. So lightweight. Now, the back roads to Logan, what would you say? Half a mile?
Where from?
Where started drinking? The train station, for the train tracks to Logan, to the Logan sign.
About a mile and a half, possibly.
But mile and a half.
If that.
Half an hour walk for us at that point because we walked
20 minutes.
We walked that walk quite regularly. We used to get bored and walk around that all the time. So but Raymond drank his half bottle, chucked us in the field. 2 seconds later, I finished my full bottle and threw it in the field. So yeah, I was pretty drunk. We get to the pub, and Raymond walks up and says hi to everybody. He's more social. He knew more people than I did at that point. So more people his year. And I'm standing next to the bar, just sort of nice wee swagger on. And the bartender turns around to me and goes, "Are you drunk?" And I go, "No." And run over to Raymond and just sit down. I go, "Raymond, the bartender just asked me if he's drunk." And he's like, "Just sit there. Stay there."
Sit there and behave yourself.
So, but you were going up and buying me drink and stuff because you were always like age to buy drinks. You were kept drinking. Basically, it's got steaming.
When did you start, man? There was fair dues. There was many folk there that I knew, but there was folk there that you can't as well that were of age.
No, by the end of the night, I knew everybody. I'm a very sociable drink. I don't drink very often, especially nowadays. But when I drink, I'm very open, very happy. More me, but open. But so to the end of it, but we drank, then night ended. It's quite a good party, quite a good night. What I remember. That was when I walked in with was that no one had the half bottle of wine? Or was that the Halloween party? No, that would have been Emma's birthday. We walked out, I ended up walking home with a half bottle of wine. Because somebody left it sitting on
You finished that off the table.
So we decided end of the night, let's head home. So instead of walking back the back roads, we decided let's just continue a normal walk down into Logan down into Cumnock, then Cumnock up into Nelford. Usual bog standards walk. I'm drinking this bottle of wine. I say I shouldn't have been drinking that bottle of wine. That was probably the final straw.
That was definitely the straw that broke the camel's back.
Aye, that was a bad thing. The
thing that makes it and that brings us back round full circle to the collection. But we get back into Cumnock, we realised, right, we've got to go that way. But in order for us to go that way, we need to go a complete different route that's a hell of a lot longer. So we're going to take shortcuts. So we'll go down this hill instead. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get there and say the actual name of the street in case anybody lives there.
No, John Bear Street.
Heart Attack Hill.
Heart Attack Hill. How was like that? It is the worst hill to walk down ever. And cycling up and doing it, I've done it once in my entire life and never again. And that
Mate,
was
again that way where we used to cycle up and down that hill quite regularly.
Aye, but I made up to the top, the very top from the bottom once in my entire life, and it was when we were doing it like that time. I just have to take halfway up about the opening and just push it. Nope, done.
Mate, we used to cycle up that hill regularly, and I didn't realise just quite how safe it is, see, until you're pushing the buggy up there.
Fatherhood, sore one on you.
Ken that way where the last time we were giving up to your dad's, but I made them come in Richmond Terrace, so I didn't need to push that buggy up John Muir Street.
Aye. Yeah, I walk up
It
the
was
board hill
easier.
because it's easier. There's more flats.
No, mate, there's more flat surfaces of Richmond Terrace than there is in the Bord Hill. The Bord Hill isn't much better than Heart Attack Hill.
Wee bit.
But on Heart Attack, we were walking down, and out the corner where as you do when you're drunk, you notice totally random things.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you apologise to the street sign that you've just walked into.
Aye.
Or you pick a fight with said street sign that you've just walked into, depending on how you're inclined.
How you
But
feeling?
in this particular night, we spotted rubber ducks in this garden.
Yep.
And we just, drunk as we were, it was a good idea, fucking steal them. So it was.
You know, and the best thing is the rubber ducks were in a nice wee pond. So this person had thought into his idea. He just didn't think about people like us walking past.
Didn't factor in ideas like us walking past.
Yeah. No, Raymond didn't make it very far. Raymond's a bit of bell end and volleyed his in the air. Yeah, I think you picked about 2 up.
Mate, I left it to if I remember correctly, I kicked one in the air at Asda, and I kicked one in the air a bit further up the road.
Mm-hmm. So I
didn't make it.
I didn't. I kept 3. But I didn't remember. By the time I got in, I'd forgot. I walked in. I think I went in the house and sat and watched. I must have watched some scuds because that's what I did back then. And I think my computer was in the living room. So I probably went in the house and went a wee bit of MySpace. No, it would have been probably people.
People!
Probably MSN as well, maybe. No.
Hit like for people in MSN, mate. If you're watching and listening, hit like for people in MSN so we can see your ages.
Oh, aye, people in MSN.
If you came with people in MSN, you're old enough to be watching your channel.
Or MySpace. MySpace was even better. I love MySpace, but you weren't on MySpace.
I used MySpace vaguely for about a fortnight when I was in Faith and Misery.
I love MySpace.
But the only reason I was using it was for trying to promote the band.
Mm-hmm. But I then got woken up the next morning. Once I got woken up rudely by my mum. Come in the room and went, Stean. No, this was like 10 o'clock in the morning. Red bucket, like my famous righty pail, sitting right next to my bed, like usual. And my mum was like, Dean, where did the rubber ducks come from? Now I'm lying there, just awake, still feeling kind of rough because I drank quite a lot. You know, the bucket headache. I'm like, not a clue. I'll text Raymond. No, obviously Raymond didn't get back to me because it's 10 o'clock in the morning. By 1 o'clock,
why the fuck would I be up at 1 in the morning? To this day, it's still 12 o'clock early.
1 in the afternoon.
10 o'clock in the morning. It's 1 in the afternoon before I'm up. Especially when I've been drinking the night before.
I don't know. I don't know either. Mum always was up early because that's what adults do. I still don't, but that's what adults do. But she asked me where the ducks came face. So you got back to me and told me, do you not remember stealing them? And I went, no. And you went, on John Bear Street. And I went, aye. That's when it all came back. That one I remember now. And that spurred on, as I said, that spurred on me having a rubber duck collection. That at this point, I can't speak today. I just started. No,
You just go away. Yeah, you're allowed to speak Scots.
I just go with my missus at that point. And the very first Valentine's Day, I seen a rubber duck in the local spa, which is a black duck that says "I'm too sexy for my duck," which I told Alison I wanted. So that spurred on me now getting a rubber duck collection. That I don't buy any rubber ducks myself. They all have to be bought by her. That's the whole point of my rubber duck collection. I'll flash a picture up here of these rubber ducks because I've got my rubber duck collection. This is spurred on somebody else have a rubber duck collection.
Aye, it's led to, which it makes it even funnier because my son's only about 4 months old and he has got a rubber duck collection that consists of 6 wee ducks that all have wee uniforms on. There's a wee doctor duck and a wee fireman duck and there's a wee policeman duck. And I think it's quite funny because your duck collection's been spanning 10 years and you're only 2 ducks advanced. So you've only got two ducks male and the wee man, they could ever take you.
So is that a shout out to Alison to step by me with my ducks?
Alison, Dean needs to, I don't know if Dean should get more ducks because the wee man should ever take him. He should let the wee man get that crown. But we're never going to catch up the DVD collection, as you can see. So we might catch up in the rubber duck collection.
So that's basically a rubber duck story. So again another clear example of me getting drunk and acquiring something. I'm not going to use the S word. I'll say acquiring. And then
borrowing without permission, without any intention of ever giving back.
Yeah, we could do. And to be fair, so I remember my big brother still coming home one day for a night out with a tree, and my mum sending him back with the tree. I couldn't go back with the rubber ducks because we just got a new puppy. At this point, a wee Jack Russell, and the wee Jack Russell found the rubber ducks because they were in the living room, and the rubber ducks became that toy. So the rubber ducks couldn't get returned.
Hey, man.
Sorry, person.
Well,
if the person,
your mum couldn't be raging at you either.
No,
your mum couldn't be raging at you because you got the dogs toys. So the dogs got to have toys today the same as a Wednesday.
So if by any chance the person that we still the rubber ducks is watching, very sorry. But
they did get a loving home for at least a week before Poppy killed them.
And that has been a 10-year-old story that has made us all laugh and gave us all good memories. So thank you very much. Next one is, so we usually spend a lot of time out in Auchinleck. There was a lot of parties happening in Auchinleck. We used to drink at a boys' bit called Stephen Blackman.
Blackmore.
And we drank with a lot. It was a bunch of boys I refer to as the Relentless Crew. Don't know if you understand what I mean.
I remember the Relentless Crew. I remember, I think Kyle had just left Relentless when Arkin.
No, because they used to play, because they played, remember that bad singer at the Chapel Hall for a wee bit. No, you weren't at Chapel Hall. You were at Chapel Hall at that point.
I was at the Chapel Hall. It was one of the first gigs they done at the Chapel Hall that got me in tow with that crew.
Right.
So it was because me and Dan showed up at a gig that was organised and Kyle wasn't there. Kyle was there actually. Kyle and Graham went up and done a few songs by themselves.
Right.
With electric guitars.
Mm-hmm.
That was how we met Minnie, how we met Minnie Dan.
No.
At this moment, I can't even remember what Minnie Dan's real name was.
Daniel something.
But Minnie Dan was actually called Dan.
No, that was Daniel something. I can't remember his second name. Southern F boy.
Right. But well, we got into tow with that crew and kind of started drinking.
That crew we mean by it's that's like Samson, who we mentioned quite a lot of times, Kyle Samson, and
I'm going to jump in and point out the new. It was requested that we spoke about him. We will mention on screen the now that Mini Me is in fact Jordan Sampson, who was messaging before asking us in fact to talk about him.
And there's no copyright.
I'm going to point out that there's no copyright anywhere. The funny thing is, the reason it was called Mini Me was because we shared a birthday.
Aye.
So
Well, that was it. That was really it.
Yeah, particular fact, we shared a birthday and we both had blonde hair.
Aye.
And Mini Dan was a wee guy that had dark hair, and I ran about with Dan that had dark hair.
And the both was with Daniel. So we went out to a night out just between Christmas and New Year because the chapel hall we went to was off for about a month. So we hadn't seen each other for a wee bit, so we jumped out to see them. So we decided to jump out to see them, have a wee drink. Well, we were all having a wee drink with them. I can't quite remember everybody that was there. I just remember having a drink because, again, I got very drunk. Obviously.
I think there was only about 6 days there, and the thing that makes it even funnier is the fact that it's one of the few times I decided not to have a swally when everybody else was.
Right. You did start drinking to begin with. You had a couple. You had like one or two in the beginning.
I had a couple at the beginning. Again, waving bye bye to the child. I had a couple at the night, but it was that way. Like, just kind of didn't really have the notion for it when I started drinking. I was enjoying the company. I was enjoying the being out of my own house, being somewhere else, playing my way, having a shot at PlayStation and what else. The drink just wasn't doing anything for me that night, so I just decided, no, fuck it.
Right.
But
no.
there was a suggestion.
I was like 16, you were 17, I think.
Aye, we were both still at school for this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we were. But one of the Christmas presents, I'm sure it was a Christmas present Stephen had got that year, was the ever famous childhood game of Snakes and Ladders, but the pieces were replaced with shot glasses. And to add that just wee bit more party entertainment to it, you go every time you landed on the snake and slid down, you took a shot. Every time you landed on the same square as somebody else, you're both taking a shot. We decided that Dean, because he hadn't drank with us at the weekend for a fair few weeks at that point.
Mm-hmm. No, at this point,
you had his kids on it at the weekend, and then they come out the Friday with us.
Aye, at this point, on a Friday night, I had his kids, what was a Christian kids club. Yeah, I was drinking at the same point, but we went to a Christian kids club. And a Saturday, I sometimes could have a drink, but usually it was a Thursday we'd have a drink because that was the night we could drink in Cumnock. And then a Sunday night, I went to a youth club, a Christian youth club in Prestwick. So, and that was at night time again. So really, I couldn't drink very much at the weekend. I was good to do this Christian boy at that point. We might get into that at one point, but probably no. But I'd been drinking a wee bit with a couple of Jack Daniels at this point, and the boys decided, let's play this game. Cool. Football, what's the league? Is it a quarter, a half?
Half bottle, 35 cl.
35 cl of vodka, and then in the jug, and then enough to fill the jug of Iron Brew, of literally enough to colour it. Literally, that was it.
You're talking, for international viewers, you're talking 2 fingers of a Betty Crocker measuring jug. No affiliation. If you want to drop us a wee check, Betty Crocker, feel free.
And so we decided that. So I'd say I'd been drinking a few, and I've got a weak bladder. So I went up to the toilet, and I come back down, and I was doing a snake. They were like, Dean, we had a shot for you because we didn't want to wait, so you went doing a snake. I was like, cool. Shot.
You were taking too long, mate. Sorry, roll to die for you, even though he's not drinking.
I wasn't caring. It was free alcohol. That's all I was thinking. Shot, done. Kept playing.
It was getting to the stage that the longer the night went on, the more drunk Dean got.
Yeah.
The more drunk Dean got, the more talkative he got, so the longer it would take him to take his turn. So we continued to take his turn for him.
I would go up to the toilet and come back down, and every time I come back to the toilet, I'd be doing a snake. And I wasn't even thinking, I'm trustworthy. I'm thinking, cool, drink.
Cool. The boys have taken my shot for me. Unlucky me, I've landed on this square.
Right.
Fuck.
No, the rules say that if you're lost, you had to then go drink the whole jug. Now, Raymond, being the sober good pal, went, I'll go put you a new one in a new short glass. I'll go put it in a short glass so you can drink it, so it's nice and fresh. I was like, cool. He brought this a short glass of pure iron brew. I smelled it and went, Raymond, are you stupid? That stuff is pure vodka. That is pure iron brew. I'm no fucking stupid. I drink iron brew on a daily basis. Downed iron brew, walked through the kitchen, grabbed the jug, and downed the jug.
See, in total honesty, in hindsight, man, at the end of the game, I was thinking, fuck, I've got to walk in with this bastard.
Yeah, because that's the thing. We always went home. Every time, no matter what party we went to, we went home.
Very, at that point, when we were still at school, we didn't bother spending the night. I had this conversation with my mum.
No matter what, I think even after we turned 18, we made sure we ended up getting home.
Oh, night if me and you were drinking together,
we always made it back just because
we're gone.
Aye, we always made it back to the third. But so that
I had that conversation with my mum earlier in the week that I wasn't that bad for drinking when I was younger. There was only once or twice I didn't make it home.
Mm-hmm.
I said to her straight up, you realise only time I tell you I was staying out, it was because I was drinking. It's fully aware of that.
Because it's
what I done. Oh no, mate! It was that way. My mum's response to it was, "I'm fully aware of that because it's the way I done it."
Mm-hmm.
I tell your papa I was staying at somebody's house because I was having a drink.
Aye, that's just what you do. That's just what you did.
But beyond that, but like any other time, me and you always made sure we got back to Netherford.
Because that's
drinking on my own in the other hand.
Aye. Because we always had that body system. Because as you said, you had a couple of drinks and you said you didn't run in the mid for it. And as soon as you seen that go, I was getting part because I kind of necked a couple of drinks as soon as I got there. A wee bit of Dutch courage because I felt a wee bit unsafe. Not unsafe. What's the word?
Uneasy.
Not uneasy. Like shy, but no shy. Like, cause I'm not a shy person, but I had that wee bit of nervousness around that crew because I still didn't really know them that well. So I nicked a couple of drinks just to get myself going. But so I was pretty gone. Where I remember lying in front of the telly, being steaming, and then going to the toilet, coming back down the stairs, and there's a delivery driver for the Manmus and come in the square. Tax at the door. Selfish plug. I don't care. I like their pizzas.
I'm going to point this out, by the way. He was, in fact, in the room when we placed the order. And he was, in fact, in the room when we placed the order. And he was, in fact, asked, do you want anything? And he said no.
No, I don't remember this, obviously.
He made our order. Finished off the game of Snakes and Ladders, because bearing in mind, we hadn't finished off the game when we ordered. We were near the end of the game when we ordered.
That explains why I don't remember ordering the pizza, because I was pretty drunk at that point.
But the pizza delivery man arrived. There's your pizza, this much money please, into the hood. Dean realises that somebody's standing at the door talking to a voice he doesn't recognise.
Pizza?
Who the fuck's that?
I can smell pizzas, and I'm fat. I'm very fat, and I like pizzas. So I go to the guy, and I'm like, all right, Picking, can I get a pizza, please? The delivery driver stares back at me, very confusedly, and goes, aye, pal, if you phone the shop. At that point, that confuses me, because my reply back is, but mate, you're going back to the shop. Can you not go back to the shop? Can you not go back to the shop?
Go back to the shop and order it for me.
Go make a pepperoni pizza. Grab the pepperoni pizza and then drive all the way back here, and then I'll pay you. No, you have to phone the shop.
Which, mate, and I get it. In a drunk man's head, that would make sense.
And I'm sober. I'm not drunk at this current moment in time. And that still makes sense to me why that man couldn't go back to the shop and get a pizza and bring it back to me. Where else was he going back to the shop?
Mate, like, that would be understandable if it was me that worked in a kebab shop, like delivering.
No,
It
anybody.
was me that showed up. Like, I've showed up at a house party to drop food off, and then Fat Boy showed up. Oh, hey, what you doing? Oh, I'll go get you a scran. No bother, mate. I'll see you in 20 minutes. But it was a random Turkish man. May or may not have been Turkish. I assume Turkish because it's owned by Turkish people.
Mhm.
But may or may not have been. It was just a random man. It could have been anybody.
So,
Mate, that maybe wasn't even a real delivery driver. That could have been the guy who fell across the road.
aye. But it
He's
was a
just
delivery driver.
off the guy and decided to drop it off for us.
It was a delivery driver. I knew that, right? So if I'm
It
like,
wasn't back to delivery driver, but how you go expecting him to understand and go back to the shop and order it for me, rather than you just phoning, because if you phoned, you could have made that phone call while we were paying, and it would have been ordered, and it would have been fucking ready by the time he got back to the shop.
so you say, so somebody placed order for me, somebody phoned up, placed order, got to delivery, sent out, and I'm lying in front of the telly, shouting, "Where's my change?" I haven't ate my pizza. My pizza hasn't even arrived. Like, I haven't
Has he even paid for the pizza?
no sign of a pizza. Where's my change? I'm doing £3 change. I'll give you £20. Where's my change? I need my change.
Pizza hadn't arrived.
Really
Wait,
shouldn't think.
you see, even after that, I'm pretty sure, did you know end up when it arrived confused as to who ordered the pizza? I don't know. It'd be funny as fuck if you put us through all that to end up asking who ordered the pizza? How did you care I was hungry?
To be fair, we went through all that for me to eat the pizza. I don't even think I got my £3 change back because I got threatened to, if I didn't shut off about asking for my change, I wasn't get my pizza. I ate my pizza to less than 5 minutes later for that pizza for me to be ending my night hugging Steven's toilet for a good hour because these are all bastards. Pure and simple.
Mate, as I was going to say, I seen it like after when we were getting to the tail end of that fucking jug, I was starting to worry and think, oh fuck, I've got to walk in with him. This is going to be a fucking bad idea. We can't give him any more. See, if you hadn't ate the pizza, you'd have been fucking fine.
Aye, I wouldn't have. I probably wouldn't have waited because I don't think I did in that day, so that was probably my problem. But yeah, that was a fun.
So it was, but it was definitely a funny one. Like, but then at the end of the night, when we decided we're walking home, no, I couldn't even count it on fucking. I reckon it's about 4 miles.
So I got that.
Roughly from Stephen's house to our area. So we decided we're taking the walk, and it's a harsh winter that year, so pavements are all snowed out, the roads are clear, so we're walking on the road. And we get to between Cumnock and Auchinleck, which will now be Knockroon. I don't think Knockroon would have been standing at the time.
No.
They would have been just building Knockroon at that time.
No, I don't even think so. Don't think it was even an idea at that point. It may have been an idea, but it wasn't. I don't even think Kelly owned Dumfries at that point.
No, I done a bit of research into that for a job interview a while back, mate. I couldn't tell you now.
No, because Samson said it wasn't there just at that point.
Just we got to where Knockroon was, and this is blackness for anybody that doesn't know East Ayrshire. The Knockroon ski slope used to be pure darkness until the new houses got built, and then the lights got extended and whatnot. There used to be 2 houses at the top of the hill. That was it. We come down past the Rig Road opening,
No Man's Land.
Middle of no man's land, and it was next thing we know, colour fucking everywhere, blue flashy lights.
Fucking shit myself.
We both fucking shit ourselves, terrified, thinking, right, I'm underage, I'm sober, so I can talk to them, but I'm underage and I've got alcohol in my bag.
I'm no.
You couldn't even stand upright, never mind speak English.
Aye. And I can't speak English when I'm sober.
So we jumps back onto the pavement. The only reason we were walking on the road was because the pavement was really icy and it was really dark, so we didn't fancy falling into the field. The blue flashers come on. We jumped off the road and they just drive on.
And they were just
Never
moving us off the
stopped.
road. They didn't want to knock us down, obviously.
It was a wee letting us ken that they were behind us, that was all. So we keeps walking. About, I'd say, half a mile, no, not even half a mile, maybe a quarter of a mile later, we are walking past Cumnock swimming pool. And that's when, again, the blues and twos start. But this time they don't keep going.
No.
That time they stop. And it's just a case of fucking, right, here we go. Dean sees the police car. And we're walking, police car drives up beside us. Dean goes like this. And before he gets a chance,
No, give me a
Shut
second. Give me a second. Let me just defend myself. No, I grew up in a household where I was allowed to drink at a very young age. I don't want to say why, because my mum and dad could get my dad could get done for it. So I got a good right to drink at a very young age, and but we were always brought up with honesty, like always be honest. If I'm drunk, I'm drunk. Be honest about it. Don't lie about being drunk, because then it gets worse. So the police stops us, and I instantly think they stop us. Where you been? At my mate's bit having a drink. It's the first thought that comes to my head. I start to go, and Raymond goes, shh. We're just at my mate's bit. I'll let you continue.
Dean, shut that fuck up. Aye, officer, how's it going? Who are you off to? Oh, well, we're out at my mate's bit there. I haven't seen them all the festives, so we thought we get together, a couple of games of Xbox, get what it's like. Then they ask about what's in my bag. So it's like, oh, we're musicians as well, it's guitar pedals and cables, you'll not be interested. And I flicks the bag off the shoulder on the offer to like calling it hour. No, pal, it's all right, don't worry. Just going on, where is it you're off to? Oh, we're heading up to Nether, I thought that half an hour and we'll be home. No problem, boys, right, see you later. And away they go.
Lucky, because we should have been. If you hadn't shut me up, I'd have been perfect.
In fairness, man, I was proper ballsy with the fact that I held the bag over, because there was in fact a bottle of vodka and a bottle of rum in the bag.
Aye, they didn't.
The way I was playing it was, we've been honest enough with the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they not believe that it was just the guitar pedals that were there?
Right.
If you are in fact that copper watching this, which I highly doubt,
aye,
I'm pretty sure it's past the statute of limitations, so you can't catch me now.
Thanks very much.
You could have gave us a lift home because it was cold that night.
I was. I was drunk.
See, in fairness, mate, there's like, when we think on it, you're saying we could have got into a lot of trouble. There wasn't really that many instances when the police were speaking to us.
No, the best one, the next one.
You coming home for Christmas?
You came home for Christmas. At this point, you decided to air, and we were both over 18 at this point. So my mum had died, and the year before my mum died, me and you went out on Christmas Eve, and then the year after my mum died, you forced me to come out and drink, just to kind of, because Christmas is such an important time. So we decided to make it a yearly tradition almost, to make sure we go to the pub.
It's a yearly tradition, but fuck you, 2020.
Aye, the only year it didn't happen. out of all these years since I was 18. But yeah, so we're out drinking. I think it was Christmas night.
Aye,
It was Christmas night.
it was Christmas night because I was home. I had been working Christmas Eve that night,
Mhm.
so I had worked Christmas Eve, stayed down here. My papa came and picked me up, and he had to bring us home for Christmas dinner on Christmas Day. I had my Christmas dinner, got changed into the kilt, and headed along to Joe and Derek's bit because they were staying at the bottom of Homeburn Mood at the time.
So
And I had got used there because I remember as soon as I walked in getting the comment of why you wearing a skirt off of, I'm pretty sure it was Derek, but I might be wrong.
probably it wouldn't have been my father. That's 100%.
Don't think to my knowledge, I'm not even sure if your dad ever seen me in the kilt.
Was that the year it was
I never got the kilt until I moved to here.
my dad was there. My dad was there one of the years, but I think that was the first year. That was before they were married and that. So my dad would have been there. It was the second year that he was in the hospital. So my dad would have been there. I don't think my dad would have been there.
Your dad's not the kind of person that would ever go at somebody wearing a kilt.
Because my dad's had a kilt himself. My dad's a sportsman.
Your dad likes the kilt, so.
Aye.
But there was a comment of why are you wearing a skirt? And I had to be the cheeky cunt. Oh, it's only a skirt if you wear something below it.
Aye. So it's ever day.
Mate,
You're very proud.
Mate, what's born below the what does a true Scotsman wear below his kilt?
His dick.
Lipstick if he's lucky.
Yeah. So we end up going out to the pub and having a few drinks, and we're both drinking.
A few dozen.
We always get a good few drinks in us. Raymond's a wee bit more drunk than I am. That's what happens one time. So I stop. I don't stop drinking, but I watch my drink because I notice Raymond's got a wee bit more drunk than I have, and that's just how we always work. If one of us get drunk quicker, Dilly in, so it's done. Just city friendship. No, really slows down, but but make sure that because they know they're walking home with them. Even though at this point I wasn't walking home with Raymond because I didn't say Nelthorpe at this point. I'd moved out to Nelthorpe. But we end at night. We're storing across the road from Sloan's, and Raymond's on the phone to his ex-missus at this point, and he drops his phone. As he drops his phone, he bends down to pick up, and it's literally his feet leave the ground.
I bend over. Before my hand touches the ground, gravity takes over, and my face hits the ground before the fucking hand does. Whack! I hit the ground. Me wearing the kilt, and yes, 100% full Scotsman, the kilt turns into an upside down lampshade, and I'm on display for the full Cumnock as the paddy wagon turns around the corner.
Yeah. So obviously, they stop. Obviously, and to be fair, they were nice. The questions was, "Is he all right?" That was the first question they asked. Which to me that means that's nice.
No,
no. Your answer was, "I am fine. I just dropped my phone." You a wee big bump in your head, but you were fine. You just had your rough voice. I've seen rough voice for you.
I don't like that sticking inside you. I totally imagine cartoon lump.
Aye, you were probably seeing stars, but you were fine. You even answered, "I'm fine." And they asked you, "Can you get him all right?" And I said, "Aye, I'll get him home." And they said, "Cool," and they drove away. The one and only time I have been the sober speak to the police guy in my entire life, ever. Full stop. Was that moment, and they believe me. And I technically did get him almost when I took you to the fire station.
Mate, in fairness, though, like, you get me to if you had got me to the Chapel Hall, I reckon my body wouldn't have any muscle memory. Like, my papa stays across the road to the Chapel Hall, so I've done that walk 1,000 times, never mind on the other walk that we've done. I reckon, like, for being a wee boy and staying in there third for, like, the house my mum's in, she's been in that house for 22 years now. 23 years now. So, like, if you got me to the chapel hall, my body would have went into muscle memory, but it's all right, you'll get him for your papas, you'll be fine.
Right, by the time we left the fire station, we were sober.
Oh, aye, by the time we left the fire station, we were sober, because I actually remember getting asked for Barry later on, a couple of days later, was, what the fuck were you two still doing stood outside the fire station at such and such a time?
Aye. Yeah.
And it made me laugh, because it makes me laugh every time, because he had asked me that same question on 3 or 4 different occasions.
Right,
It would be a case of, fucking, mate, we've got to there, we've sat down on the steps and started giggling. And fucking next time we can, it's
3 years have passed.
It's 3 years later and we're thinking, fuck, right, we better get home because it'll be daylight shortly.
Aye.
But aye, it was fucking quite rather comical, that one, like.
So
I still remember the reaction when I arrived at my ex-girlfriend's house the following day, because I couldn't. I went down there for Boxing Day dinner and I couldn't even look at food.
And that's it. That's a joy of going out at Christmas drinking. My last ever Christmas dinner with my mum was my first Christmas as an 18-year-old. So me and you decided 18, we're away to 18. Let's go to the pub. Let's go drinking on Christmas Eve. Great. It sounds like a great idea until Christmas dinner at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're still sitting there going,
Oh, definitely. I remember another occasion as well where we left the pub at shutting time on Christmas Eve. We didn't bother spending as much time yapping, but we just headed home. Still managed to take me 2.5 hours or 3 hours to get home.
The best one's when you reappeared in Cumnock. You met me outside Joanne's bit. I don't even get you just appeared. I just thought we'd disconnected for a couple of months when you'd moved in my bitch. That is her name. Full stop. You appeared at my sister's house. Sent me a message saying, "Come outside. We're going for a drink. It's Christmas." Cool. It's tradition. I didn't try to say it was about 6 months since I spoke to you, but I said that was tradition. You'd arrive and come up for that tradition, and that took us 5 hours to get home, probably longer. We spent about 3 hours in the tunnel at the church and Air Road, and then walked up to the fire station. Spent another 3 hours there probably, and then I walked home. And it was daylight. We were stone cold sober.
Daylight, stone cold sober. I remember getting up that Christmas Day and got up. I was a crab at his sin mood. I opened presents and I looked at my Christmas dinner. Couldn't face it there and then, so I ate it the following day. So I did, but it's still better than some Christmases, I'll tell you that. Like,
so the next one is better if you're not a kid. If you're a kid, I wouldn't be watching this because it ends up being rude. But we were once again at Samson's house, Kyle Samson. As I say, that this guy was out with his papa's house. Sorry, Kyle Samson pops up quite a lot. Me, you, and Samson. We were a trio for a wee bit. Me and you, we all drank together. We spent a lot of time together. Used to together.
Like similar Xbox games, similar music.
Watching wrestling together.
I played guitar. We all watched wrestling. Used to, at one point, it was fucking, we would get the TNA pay-per-views and we would watch them.
Watch them at Kyle's papa's
every month. It would either be, it started off, it was between my house and your house, and we'd take turn about. Then when Kyle started watching it with us, we would do it at his papa's instead.
Mm-hmm. Always usually at Kyle's papa's, but we always had a drink because Kyle's papa was quite relaxed, and Kyle was a couple of years older than us, so he could buy his drink. Kyle had been partying at his papa's at the weekend. I think it was a Monday night, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. A Monday, it was either Sunday or Monday because we scored the next day. Because I went still pretty
It
rough.
would have been Sunday because it was after the Chapel Hall was in the Sunday afternoon.
Right.
So we went there and played music in the afternoon. You were at your Christian thing during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Then you would meet us after it. You would meet us when you get back into Cumnock before you went to Alice's.
Right. So went to Kyle's bit, and Kyle had this bottle of absolute vodka, a full bottle that he'd left over from the night before, and we decided let's drink this vodka. And we drank the vodka. We were obviously mixing it with something. I think it was cola. We mixed it with, and we were all drinking. And we decided to play the famous game of I never, or I have never ever, whatever you want to call it.
Never have I ever.
And playing that game's fun, but it's no fun if you ken each other as well as us three knew each other. We knew every tiny wee thing we done, every wee sexual thing we'd ever done, and about families. We knew everything.
Who would ever could think, oh, we didn't really play that game fairly. We didn't play it to reveal anything about ourselves. We used to play that game and we would pick people to pick on.
Yeah. So we decided, Raymond, you're sober. So me and Kyle would go, Raymond, we would go, have I never something that points towards Raymond? Have I never something else that points towards Raymond? Have I never something else that points towards Raymond? Raymond got a wee bit drunk, and then we'd swap room. And then Raymond and Kyle would team up with me. And then me and Raymond would team up with Kyle. And we just sat inside. We drank. We finished the bottle of vodka. Now, obviously, we're drinking. So we're sitting on the laptop, on the computer, listening to music, and back and forth to the toilet, having a pee.
Aye, obviously, like, playing Never Have I Ever, the way we played it, it was an up and down for if you did, like, every player's got their own rules for Never Have I Ever. Same as everybody's got their own rules for Kings or Ring of Fire, whatever way you want it, whatever name you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
The rules we used was it was just a mouther. That was it. But because I ken there's people that would do it, it would be a full glass if you hadn't done it, or two fingers, or however you want to word it that way. But after you get so many glasses done, you need to break the seal.
Right.
You don't buy alcohol. You rent it.
And once you break the seal, you keep breaking the seal. So us the years kept going back and forth to the toilet. And then me and Raymond go home after the bottle's finished, pretty drunk. Happy as Larry, off we go.
Happy as Larry.
Now we're obviously
Actually,
to be fair, me and Raymond are underage. We were both still at high school at this point, so we're both still underage. So that was pretty steaming.
That was just about to mention was another thing that people at school didn't believe us when we would tell them this shit.
No, about Omega at college, but
where did you get up to the weekend? Or we were having a drink last night. No, you weren't.
You're too good. You're too much a good boy. You do good in school. You've got is that you do good in exams, so you must not drink at the weekend. I drank every weekend.
It's not even necessarily that I wasn't even that good at exams, to be honest, man. I fucking left school with an advanced higher in music, and that was it.
That's true. But we were doing that. We're still a well behaved.
We weren't like it wasn't that we were the goody two shoes. It was just we were like kind of grey folk. Like folk didn't really notice us. We knew everybody, but
need we were on outsiders.
We were the outsiders to the point of if there was a party at the weekend, we could tell folk we were at it and they would believe us.
Mm-hmm. Aye, when you can, because they couldn't see us.
They wouldn't question it. They would probably actually agree that they had seen us and spoke to us when, in fact, that we were away, maybe fucking sitting having a party at Kyle's where we're at the back. We're getting steaming and then going out the back and knocking fuck at each other for a couple of hours.
Alright, my bad.
Or sitting in your bit with a crowd of the way it would be explained at the school was it would be a mosher party.
Mm-hmm. That was a mosher party, my bit.
Like that's how it would have been explained at the school. Would have been it was a mosher party.
Mm-hmm.
but fucking, in fairness, Perty's at Kyle's bit was a fucking one more shit Perty's too.
Sorry, Craig from Royal Marshals.
But
The punchline in this one was quite funny. The punchline in this one was we got home. I think it was the next day. It was that night. Kyle sent us a message saying that his papa had just come in after we left and went, "I know you were up to the night." Kyle went, "I were drinking the bottles in the recycling bin." Like, no. You were in there watching they filthy movies on the laptop on that computer, and then going into the toilet and cleaning yourself off. Yeah, his old grandpa thought, lovely fellas, his old grandpa thought we were in having a wee wank, watching some pornos, and then going in like cleaning ourselves off in the toilets.
Mate, that's what. Is that not what's supposed to be?
He thought we were doing this numerous times because I went to the toilet at least 5 or 6 times because that's what I do when I drink. I pee all the time when I'm drinking. So
mate, trying to get to the bottom of a glass with it, needing a pass.
Exactly. So like, Jesus Christ, come on, Alden.
But nah, that fucking. I remember a lot of parties like that, man. As I say, folk wouldn't believe it. That fucking, if it was it could have been a Sunday night, a Thursday night. What did you go up to? Or had a few beers with the boys and fucking listen to tunes.
Or gone off through summer. Kyle Sampson's bit drinking for 6 days straight.
Mate, that's actually quite a successful segue into the next one there, man. I like it. Speaking of that exact party, that week party, I think I did miss a couple of days of that week.
No, not one. Because we were every single night.
I'm sure there was an in-between.
I went every night. I was there all 6 nights, 100%.
I'm thinking Craig Miller's. I wasn't at every night.
Craig Miller's, but it was Samson's. We went every night because that was our big thing. Samson had just Samson is a bar. An assault done on Samson in his local shite hole area, and he came into a lot of compensation money, and his mum and dad had went on holiday with his 2 wee brothers, and he had the place to himself. So we all decided party time. Now we were weirdos. We didn't party from sundown to sunrise. We partied at night times really and went home. And then went back out about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon and started drinking. Then we'd go home about 2 or 3 in the afternoon at night time and just do that because we're respectful. Aye. But we went there and we started playing some drinking games, and Raymond decided let's make a fuck it bottle. And it was as people know, a fuck it bucket. So a fuck it bucket in the context is you get a big bucket, you put every bit of drink you've got in the place.
Everything you can find.
But we didn't have a bucket, so we just put it into a Morgan's.
It was a blue bottle. No, it was a Morgan's bottle.
Morgan Spice bottle, one of the big Morgan Spice bottles.
Bottle.
It was mostly cider and vodka, because that's what we kind of had sitting about. But there was a wee bit of Budweiser in it, a wee bit of absinthe in it, a wee bit of ginger beer in it.
Shot, ginger wine. I'm sure there was some sort of alcohol pop involved too.
Aye, probably a blue liquid or some sort. Mm-hmm. But it kind of alters it every day because we depending on what drink was always in the house, but that was the majority of what was always there. It was always a cider, it was always vodka, and it was always Budweiser because that's what we that's what the 3 of us was drinking. There was a bit of Jack Daniels as well, probably because we drank Jack Daniels. And these things surprisingly were really nice. Raymond nicknamed them the Enigmas because he's a big wrestling fan and he loves Jeff Hardy. He wants to be Jeff Hardy. So he nicknamed them the Enigmas. So we nicknamed them Enigmas. These things are really nice. I really enjoyed them. I drank them most of the time. I drank them just because.
Mate, you drank them just because, and I think the thing that makes it as funny is the fact that like anybody that knows Dean knows he was never really very successful with the women until he met Alison. Dean had dangled his hook in the pond.
I hate you.
A couple of times.
I fucking hate you.
Mate, I thought this was going to be part of the fucking story.
I
But
hate you. I was going to try and miss
tell
this.
you
but-
what,
No, tell it. We'll miss the name it. We'll miss the name it.
I'll not go too far into it. All I'm going to say
tell it.
you had first heartbreak.
It wasn't my
First
first
kind of
heartbreak.
proper heartbreak.
It
Well,
wasn't my first heartbreak. It was my first. It was many.
It was the first one I seen.
It wasn't you seen. I had many before that.
So it was, you got very emotional that night, and the enigma helped.
Yeah, I was on. I'm thinking to people at this point, talking to a certain lassie, trying to ask her out, and as Raymond says, it wasn't very successful, and she said no, obviously, and that broke my heart. So I said to Raymond, make me an enigma. I ended up drinking 3 bottles. And these he made them 3 times. You know, these he only made them the first night for playing cards, and we drank half the bottle playing the card games, and then I finished it. And then the next night I was at Raymond making another one, and then make another one. The next night make another one, and then when that night that happened, made him make me 3, and I thought we started shorting them, and then I ended up just taking a lid and just drinking them out the bottle.
See, that's the thing as well. Like, our shots, they weren't even that bad because as much as it was a mix of as much alcohol, it didn't burn.
Mm-hmm. It was really, as I really enjoyed them. I thought I probably couldn't drink them now. Probably couldn't drink them nowadays. It'd probably kill me nowadays.
I
But
don't think we would ever be able to remember the ingredients for that.
no,
No,
But,
we would.
that
would be we would need to spend a lot of money just buying random concoctions of alcohol
right.
and just making a new one up every day, just on the hopes that we might possibly stumble across it. Because as I said, that there was no measuring involved either.
No,
it was just
this
much all day and this much all day and this much all day. Like, there was definitely no mixology or alcohol awareness training involved when it came to making day cocktails.
No, the thing about them though is you drank them, they got you really, really drunk. And I drank 3 that night. They got me really, really drunk. But see, as soon as you walk outside in the fresh air at me, I was stone cold sober, ready to walk home. Perfectly fine.
I have no clue how to that reaction. Like,
I don't know either. That's why I liked them so much because they fucked me up so quickly and then I sobered up so quickly. It was amazing.
aye.
Saying that, it didn't sober me up. I sobered up quicker than that. The time I projected off a set of stairs. That one was.
Oh, man, in fairness, it did take quite a bit of convincing. I just sat down the stair and played guitar that night.
What do you mean?
When you projectile vomited up the stair.
Aye, that was we went to a rugby club and I was on antibiotics, so I couldn't drink at this point. And but we used to like we could go ask for a pint tumbler at the bar, and then we were in this functions room. We could drink. I'm going to spoil some stuff here. We drank water, but they also had their optics still sitting up, so you could like take a fly wee half and stuff. So I was like taking a full bottle, a full pint of water with a wee shot of Bacardi in it, just to sort of give me that wee hit. Raymond was drinking. I think you'd been drinking. You were drinking beer at that point. You were drinking something. You were drinking bottle alcohol for you because they were buying it for you, and I said no because I wasn't want to drink from my antibiotics. And then invited us out to their bit, and then we started drinking.
That was the first night I ever played a twin neck guitar.
Was it?
It was all strung left-handed. Couldn't actually play anything on it, but.
Mm-hmm. Now, when we say we got invited out, these people were in their 40s or in their 50s. They were like actual proper adults. They were nice people. They invited us out for a drink. Well, I am online. We went out. I drank some normal gin before it was popular. That was stinking. And then they pulled out.
Aye, but the thing was, mate, it wasn't even a case of gin before it was popular. It was, do you want a gin? Aye, I'll have a gin. How do you take it? With more gin in it. And I'm talking your standard whiskey glass, standard size whiskey glass, filled to the brim. Nothing else. Just raw gin.
Down. So I'm getting, I think, 3 drinks. And then they
I
pulled out.
stuck with Jack Daniels, and then they pulled out the bottle of Zevrodka bison grass.
That's that. I pull it for people who don't know. It's a vodka from Poland that you'll find in Tesco's and things like that. It's got a big fatty wheatgrass inside it. And I've had it before. My dad was friends with a Polish guy. He brought it home from Poland before you could buy it locally. And I enjoyed it. The wee bit I had of it, pulled it off, and they'd opened it and they drank the neck of this stuff. It's salty. Drank a wee bit of it. I am going to drink that. So the cork got thrown away. And I finished the bottle. Now, I don't drink vodka. I'm not a vodka drinker in any way. When I do drink, I drink rum. Rum is my spirit of choice. Rum or beer. I don't drink vodka in any way, ever. And this is probably why I don't drink vodka anymore. That and the Shoots and Ladders. Just because of too many bad memories of it. So I drink the bottle of vodka. The husband, Mikey, he's in the couch. He's drank too much gin. He's passed out in the couch. Raymond is sitting yapping in the kitchen to the wife Joanne. They're just having a wee yap away, and I'm lying in the kitchen floor.
Starfish.
And behind me is the sink. And I'm lying going.
Putting a bit of context into it, imagine I'm Dean and imagine Darth Vader is the sink.
Yeah. Literally right behind me. I could not miss the sink. It was right behind me. And I stood up the Undertaker. And I went, I'm going to Whitey. And instead of turning round to the sink and being sick in the sink like a normal person would do, and then cleaning the sink, I tail-legged it up the stairs. Now
fucking 100 mile an hour.
Right
Go halfway up the stairs.
Halfway up the stairs, and the toilet was at the very top of the stairs. A wee bit of landing, toilet door, toilet. Luckily, the door was open. I got halfway up the stairs, and the vodka came straight out of me. Not one drop missed the toilet. As far as I know, not one drop missed the toilet, which is pretty impressive. I think if I don't say myself.
Definitely quite an impressive one. Like,
and then next thing I remember is I'm lying on the stairs with my face in a bucket of bleach, like it's like a mop bucket, and it's got bleachy water in it, which gave me a sort of head rush, but made me like it even more. I then lay on the couch as if on a taxi, and which we meant to pay them back. I don't think this day we ever paid them back.
I can't recall ever handing any money back ever. I couldn't recall speaking to Mikey a few times afterwards, because as far as I'm aware, he still works at the Kyle Centre.
Right.
No Kyle Centre. No, the Kyle Centre, because the Kyle Centre's shut down.
Is it?
The other one. They're Central.
Right.
Aye, Kyle Centre's shut down. It's supposed to be turning into a cinema.
I heard that. I've heard that.
So it's supposed to be turning into a multi-screen cinema complex, and similar to what Into Bray Head was.
Mm-hmm. No, I believe that when I see it. I've talked about it for years.
Gone by the plans that I read in the local fish wrapper, is gone down in the next few years, but it's no plan to be opened until 2025 or something.
I believe it when I see it.
That's half of Ayr High Street useless for the next 5 years.
No, it's been useless. It's been useless anyway. But yeah. So then I'm lying on the. Then I'm like, we get a taxi home, and by this point, I have kind of sobered up. I'm starting to feel rough in the taxi, which is amazing to think that I've went in the span of like 15 minutes. I've went from being super drunk to whiting to being really ill to having the shakes to being super rough and in the taxi feeling like shite. I get out of the taxi and I feel fine. I sober up, and I end up meeting one of the local Northwood boys basically outside my house, and he's drinking, and he ends up giving me shots, and I end up starting drinking the shots. So I end up, even though I just waited, I sobered up enough that I was that sober that I could continue drinking for literally 20 minutes after the waiting, which is pretty impressive for a sober up time.
Was I still out at that point?
You can. I got off the taxi at the lane, and you continued down to your house. You can just go to taxi because how late it was.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say there. I can't
Your guitar and that.
I can't even remember meeting anybody else, mate.
No.
That guitar in this bag. that guitar's hiding.
No, because you played your guitars, you just continue to aim in the taxi, and I got off and met Jeff Davos at the end of the line. He was drinking, so me and him ken each other, so we started drinking more. So that's probably the ones that's done out the most between us is our drinking stories.
Is it the story? Like, definitely, man. Fucking, like I say, I pointed out to the start with the ducks. Every time I give the rain a bath and starts making the ducks squeak and stuff, it always makes me laugh. And Laura's like, "What the fuck are you laughing at?" That story about me and Dean stealing ducks. I must have told her that 100 times, but every time the Wayne's having a bath, I'm telling the Wayne again. And me and your Auntie Dean, yes, you did in fact hear that correctly. He is Auntie Dean, no Uncle Dean.
End this quickly. That's far. Once again, I set off a timer. Guess what?
We've well and truly blew it.
I didn't set a timer. I forgot to set a timer when I started record because it took me.
I was actually going to set one.
I didn't set it on Google, but completely forgot. So yeah. So I'll let you off. Well, we'll better head and thanks for tuning in. If you've made it this far, thanks very much for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want. If you enjoy, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you later.
Double if I get slunge about Harwich.
Junior Gaelic.
Quality. Great language.